Department of Oakland School for the Arts, and these are our middle school and high school students here tonight to perform a scene, a scripted read from a scene from the Laramie Project, the Matthew Shepard story, which certainly has its place in the civil rights movement of today. So please welcome our middle school and high school students for the Laramie Project.
Laramie, Wyoming, often called the Gem City of the Plains, is now at the eye of the storm. The cowboy state has its rednecks and yahoos for sure, but there are no more bigots per capita in Wyoming than there are in New York, Florida, or California. The difference is that in Wyoming there are fewer places to blend in if you're any other than the prairie stock.
Aaron McKinney and his friend Russell Henderson came from the poor side of town. Both were broken from homes and as teenagers had run-ins with the law. They lived in trailer parks and scratched out a living as working as fast food restaurants and fixing roofs.
As a gay college student lay hospitalized in critical condition after a severe beating, this small city, which bills itself as Wyoming's hometown, wrestled with its attitude towards gay men.
People would like to think that what happened to Matthew was an exception to the rule, but it was an extreme version of what happens in our schools on a daily basis.
It's a tough business, as Matt Shepard knew and all his friends all know, to be gay in a cowboy country.
It was huge. Yeah, it was herds. And we're talking hundreds of reporters, which makes a huge dent in this town's population. There's reporters everywhere. News trucks everywhere on campus, everywhere in town. And we're not used to that type of attention to begin with. We're not used to that type of exposure.
Tiffany Edwards, local reporter. These people are predators. Like this one journalist actually caught one of the judges in the bathroom at the urinal. And he was asking him all of these questions, and the judge was like, "Excuse me, but could I please have some privacy?" And the journalist was offended that he asked for some privacy. I mean, this is not how journalism started. You know, like the Gutenberg press.
I tell you what, if hard copy came to take me, I'd take them at the exact same time. I have every word I said on tape, so if they ever try to do anything funny, they better watch their damn asses.
Wyoming Governor Jim Geringer, a first-term Republican up for re-election.
I am outraged and sickened by the heinous crime committed on Matthew Shepard. I extend my most heartfelt sympathies to the family.
Governor, you haven't pushed hate crime legislations in the past.
I would like to urge the people of Wyoming against overreacting in ways that gives one group special rights over others. We will wait to see if the vicious beating and torture of Matthew Shepard was caused by hate.
You've got the beginning of the news story where they have the graphics in the background, and they've got murder in Wyoming, and Wyoming's dripping red like it's got blood on it or something. And it's like, what is this? This is sensationalism. And we're here going, wait a minute, we had these guys in jail in less than a day. I think that's pretty damn good.
And for us to be more or less maligned, Eileen and Gil and Jen, that we're not a good community, and see, we are. The majority of people here are good people.
You get your bad apples once in a while. I mean, and I think the gay community took it as an advantage. Said that we should exploit this.
Bill McKinney, father of one of the accused.
Had this been a heterosexual these two boys decided to take out and rob, this never would have made the national news. Now my son is guilty before he's even had a trial.
Look, I do think that the media actually made people accountable because they made people think. Because people were sitting in their living rooms, like watching TV and listening to CNN and watching Dan Rathers and going, well, Jesus Christ, this isn't how it is here. Well, how is it here?
Matthew Shepard update at 3 p.m. Saturday, October 10th.
By this point, I looked out there, and where there had been 2 or 3 reporters, it must have been 10 or 15 still photographers, another 20 or 30 reporters, and 10 video cameras. The parents had just arrived. I had barely introduced myself to them. I looked out there and thought, my gosh, what am I going to do? Matthew Shepard was admitted in critical condition approximately 9:15 p.m. October 7th. When he arrived, he was unresponsive and breathing support was being provided. Matthew's major injuries upon arrival consisted of hypothermia and a fracture from behind his head to just in front of the right ear. This has caused bleeding in the brain as well as pressure on the brain. There were also several lacerations on his face, head, and neck. Matthew's temperature has fluctuated over the last 24 hours, ranging from 98 to 106 degrees. We have had difficulty controlling his temperature. Matthew's parents arrived at 7 p.m. October 9th and are now at his bedside. The following is a statement from them. First of all, we want to thank the American public for their kind thoughts about Matthew and their fond wishes for his speedy recovery. We appreciate your prayers and goodwill, and we know they are something Matthew would appreciate too. We also have a special request for the members of the media. Matthew is very much in need of his family at this time, and we ask that you respect our privacy as well as Matthew's so we can concentrate all of our efforts, thoughts, and love on our son. Thank you very much.